God frickin' Zilla. What to say about this monstrosity? I knew I was going to make a video about this guy eventually. For those that have been living under a rock, Godzilla is a massive reptilian movie monster and he's amazing. According to Google, this thing is a dinosaur, and I've gotten thousands of messages asking me what type of dinosaur he would be. So I'm going to just do that. Before we start, I just want to clarify that Godzilla never existed, nor can it exist. I could make a whole entire video just dedicated to talking about how something that large could never exist on Earth, or just the idea of a non-avian dinosaur surviving past the KT extinction is insanity. But today we are not focusing on that, and more on what type of dinosaur would Godzilla be if, let's just say, it was shrunken down and to be a more plausible size. So let's just say, in this hypothetical situation, a shrunken down fossilized Godzilla is discovered. What would paleontologists classify it as? Godzilla is really hard to classify, mostly because he possesses many traits that have been cut out and taped to a generic dinosaur. He has the posture of an outdated and generic tyrannosaur. He has the lifestyle of a crocodile or marine iguana. He has the backplates of a stegosaur. He's got the size of a whale. This makes Godzilla very, very hard to put into its own genus or species, because Godzilla doesn't seem to be based on any particular species of dinosaur. It seems to be based more on a combination of multiple species of dinosaurs amalgamated into one massive 6-year-old's dream. But I'll try my hardest. So first, what we need to answer is if Godzilla even is a dinosaur. And let me just answer that, it depends on what origin you're going by. If you're going by the 2014 or the original Godzilla, the movie states Godzilla existed long before the dinosaurs, suggesting it might be a reptile from the Permian period, and not a dinosaur. But according to Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, 1991, just one of Godzilla's many origins are revealed. It turns out Godzilla was actually a late surviving theropod dinosaur named Godzillasaurus, not to be confused with the real-life Godzilla, living on an island in the Pacific Ocean. It is discovered by humans and is instantly bombed, causing it to become mutated and irradiated to become Godzilla. So is Godzilla a dinosaur? It depends. So this time we're just going to be following the Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah origin and just say that Godzilla is a dinosaur. But what type? The first dead giveaway of what type of dinosaur Godzilla is based on its posture and body. Zilla drags his tail on the ground like a lizard, and his hips are based off of highly outdated reconstructions. Godzilla's posture is not consistent with any dinosaur. Sure, some quadrupedal dinosaurs, if they reared up on their back legs, would take this appearance with the tail dragging, but they could not run or walk like this. The outdated posture is because Godzilla is obviously based on a Charles Lloyd Knight painting of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Just look at this guy. Add some spines and you got Godzilla. So to start off, we need to change Godzilla's hips, and the tail needs to be more horizontal like a theropod and less like a lizard's. All bipedal dinosaurs did not drag their tails on the ground. So the only way we could describe Godzilla as a dinosaur would be if he looked like this. Okay, now we can answer our question. I tried to be a little creative with what dinosaur Godzilla could be. I thought up the idea of a bipedal stegosaur or sauropod, but neither of these are really plausible. Both animals could not walk only on their hind legs for extended periods of time. Therefore, Godzilla has to be a theropod dinosaur. But which one? Well, we're going to have to go into greater detail. Godzilla has thick, scaly skin. This writes off almost all coelosaurian theropods like raptors, ornithomimids, therizinosaurs, and even, yes, tyrannosaurs, which all definitely possess some form of feathers. This only leaves theropods from the non-coelosaurian side, which do have some discoveries of feathers, but mostly have evidence of thick, scaly skin, similar to Godzilla's. It is debated if these guys had feathers. If they did, they probably didn't cover the whole body, and most of their body was scaly. Godzilla possesses small, four-fingered hands. This writes off Tyrannosaurus and Allosaurus and a lot of other famous theropods, which only had 3 or 2. There was one famous group of four-fingered theropods, and that is the Alberosaurids. This group is famous for well-preserved scaly skin impressions and their incredibly tiny four-fingered hands. This group includes Carnotaurus, Majungasaurus, and Ceratosaurus, all of them relatively large theropods. Godzilla has an extremely flat skull. This narrows our list of possible theropods down even further to dinosaurs like Majungasaurus, Scorpiovenator, and Carnotaurus, which all had very, very flat skulls, like Godzilla. The only problem is Godzilla is completely lacking on horns. Carnotaurus and Majungasaurus both possessed horns, Carnotaurus having 2 and Majunga having 1. Ceratosaurus also does not meet this skull shape because it does not have a flat skull and possessed horn-like ridges unlike Zilla. So based on the body, arms, and head alone, Godzilla is most likely a relative of Scorpioninator. The small, relatively useless four-fingered hands, the scaly skin, the flat hornless face, all characteristics of Scorpioninator or relatives. Now, what about the plates? This is where it gets complicated. Godzilla has a distinct row of Stegosaurus-like plates on its back, and because they are obviously based off of Stegosaur plates, let's just assume they are made of the same material and function the same way. Stegosaurus plates are actually highly modified osteoderms. What are osteoderms? They're scales with a bony core. These are actually traits seen in modern-day alligators. They are the scaly ridges you see on an alligator's back. Yes, they are the same, just one is more specialized. Now, does our best candidate, Scorpioninator, possess these? Well, we don't know. Another less plausible candidate as far as skull shape goes, Ceratosaurus, a distant relative to Scorpioninator, did possess osteoderms on its back. These no doubt existed. It is possible over time these osteoderms could evolve to become more elongated and more flashy like a Stegosaurus. It is unknown if these osteoderms existed in Scorpioninator. If they did, this means Scorpioninator would be the best number one Godzilla candidate. So to summarize, the best two candidates for Godzilla is Scorpioninator and Ceratosaurus. Both had small four-fingered hands and both probably were majority scaly, based on Carnotaurus scale impressions. Now, if we are going on skull shape, we would go with the flat-faced skull of Scorpioninator. If we are going on osteoderm backs with the elongated and specialized plates, we would go with a highly specialized descendant of Ceratosaurus that has evolved more specialized plates on its back. So there you have it, a paleontology fan's dissection of what type of dino Zilla most likely would be. One of these interesting theropods. So next time you want to wreak havoc on a Japanese city, time travel and grab one of these dinosaurs. Thanks for watching.